calendar management, managing calendar, using calendar to manage for appointment setting, using Calendly for appointment setting to manage emails. No, sorry, using managing calendar, which is you can calendar you use it for appointment setting, to set appointment for your clients, to set on meetings. So we'll be doing that, how to schedule meeting on Calendly. We'll be making use. I'll also be showing you how to use that, do that on Google Meet, and how to use your Calendly, which is also a software that is used by virtual assistant to schedule for meetings, to manage meetings, and all of it. Most jobs you're going to be applying for, you might be getting emails from Calendly, um, or you can also be getting emails from your calendar, from your, like this email was sent to me using Google Meet from a recruiter. Now, because I will be teaching you how to do that, so that when you're also working for a client, you can send emails to other persons without without stress. So now, in order to do that, sh- um let me share my screen. So I will be sharing Google Meets on, because I want to make use of Google Meet for this. I will, on my website, I'm just going to write on Google. I'll just type in Google Meet, because Google Meet is a software I am making use of frequently. That's why it's very easy to come out. Maybe on your software, on your laptop or your phone, maybe if you're not making use of Google Meet, you're going to be seeing a lot of difference. Just like you're just going to be saying most of all of these that are not important. But just go down to where you have Google Meet, online video call, meeting and conferencing, and then you click on it. Now I am clicking on Google Meet. On my Google Meet, I have various options. I have new meetings. I have enter a code or link. I am going to click on new meeting. Now for this Google Meet, I have create a meeting for later, start an instant meeting, schedule in Google Calendar. Now, if you want to start an instant meeting, maybe you have a meeting with your team members and you want to start an instant meeting with them, you can just click on start an instant meeting. Once you click on start an instant meeting, automatically it opens. You just share the link. You're going to be getting a link. Look at the link here. You just click on this link, you copy the link, and you share it on your group. Your the group your company is making use of. Your, it can be Google, it can be WhatsApp, it can be Slack, it can be Google Meet, any of it can be Discord. You copy the link and send. But now you don't have a meeting you're making use of now. Now we are going to be going back here. You can create a meeting for later. All you have to do is to just copy this link, send it to the group, and tell them, okay, we have a meeting by 1 o'clock. You already have the link. Now, what that is really like an easy peasy, but I want to teach you how to schedule a meeting in Google Calendar. For the meeting, for what I showed you, the meeting, I am thinking that meeting, it wasn't scheduled on Google Calendar because I was just sent a link and I was told the time. So it's they scheduled that meeting by creating a meeting for later and sending me, oh, what did I just do? Creating a meeting for later and sending me the link. Now we want to schedule a meeting in Google Calendar, and this is how we are going to be doing that. Now, here I this is the first step for scheduling a meeting on Google Calendar. This is the first step for this. Now we have to choose on add a title. I have to add a title. Now this title is going to be, here I have a virtual assistant training. Now this title depends on what the meeting you're scheduling for your clients. If you're scheduling a if the meeting you're scheduling for your client is a partnership meeting, you can just impute partnership meeting. If it's a sales meeting, you can include a sales meeting. But one thing you should have at the back of your mind that the title of every meeting should the title of every meeting should be what you're going to be adding to your meeting. So now this meeting is a virtual assistant training meeting. Now I am scheduling this meeting in Google Calendar for virtual assistant training meeting. So that is what is going to be the title for the meeting. Now we are going to move over to time zone. Where a lot of virtual assistants make mistake is in time zone. If you're working with a client in the US, you're making use of an EST time zone. If you're working with a client in Nigeria, you're making use of a WAT time zone, a West African time zone. If you're working with an Australian, also for US has, like, I think about, is it different district? They have the Sacramento district that make use of PST, I think. They have the Los Angeles district in the same USA that make use of Pacific time zone. They have the what other? Okay, Eastern time zone is like, I think Texas or something. They make use of Eastern time zone. Canada make use of also Eastern time zone generally. So when you're scheduling a meeting for your client, you have to know where he currently is and the time zone he or she, the individual, is currently making use of. Now let's say you have a meeting for tomorrow. Your client has a meeting for tomorrow, which is the 27th of March, Thursday. So the meeting is for 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Now, have it at the back of your mind that this time is Nigerian time, because I have not changed the time zone. And also have it at the back of your mind that if your client is making use of an Eastern time zone, and he has a meeting with somebody that is making use of a Pacific time zone, or that's in Europe that is making use of I've forgotten that their time zone. When the meeting drops for them, when they have an email, okay, you have a meeting you have a meeting with Divine, you have a meeting with Blessing, they are going to receive the email in their time zone. So all you have to be focused in is in your client's time zone. If you're working with a client from Nigeria, you have to be focused on what time zone. If you're working with a client in Europe, if you're working with a client in Australia, you have to be focused on the Australian time zone. Now, I am going to be clicking on where we have time zone. West African Standard Time, but I am not making use of West African Standard Time. We have the Indiana Standard Time. I am not making use of the Indiana Standard Time. It is also the US, but it will be when your client is in this Indiana part of the US, they are going to make use of that time zone. Now we have the Alaska time zone. All of these time zones are peculiar to different countries. Any country your client is currently based in, that is the time zone you're going to be making use of. I would have made use of the Nigerian time zone, which is what, but it's not really going to make a difference for you since you're learning. So I'm going to use like a foreign time zone. So I'm just looking for something that's relatable. Okay, Toronto, that's for Canada. I just want an Eastern time zone. Okay, European time zone, depending on the country. West African, no. Central, no. So now I'm going to make use of, no, this is the Eastern European. I just want to, okay, South African also have their standard time. I've never worked with a South African, so I don't know they do. I'm just saying that now. So I'm trying, I don't know why I'm having issues saying this. I don't want an European, I just want an Eastern Standard Time zone. I'll go down. I don't think it's any. And also, the UK is just 1 hour ahead of us. So if your client is also in the UK, good, you can make use of that. So I'm going to be making use of the Eastern time, Indiana. Now have it at the back of your mind that they are 4 hours. Is it 4 hours? Yes. They are they are 4 hours ahead of us, or we are 4 hours ahead of them. So right now that we are 12 o'clock, when it clocks one, they are 8 o'clock. So I think about 4 hours or 5 hours. So I'm going to just make use of this Eastern time and okay. Now I want the meeting to be by 1 p.m. But I'm just going to change that. I'll just go for 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. So when it is their 11 a.m., that should be our 5, I think, yes, our 5 p.m. in the evening. That is their 11 a.m. in the Indiana time zone in the US. And when it is their 12 p.m., that is our 6 p.m. Now we are going to find a time. Join with Google Meet. There is a link already because I am joining on Google Calendar. Google has already created a link for me to join. So now I am just a location is going to be remote, so it's not important. But if it's like a physical location, maybe your client is working with, I said that the time zone is going to be wherever your client is based. If your client is based in Europe, you make use of European time. If your client is based in the US, you make use of their particular where they currently stay, the particular place they are currently staying. If it's PST time, Pacific Standard Time, if it's EST, Eastern Standard Time, if it's CST, Central Time, you choose the particular time where they are. If you make a mistake of choosing, maybe they are in CST time and you choose Pacific time, you are already making a mistake because CST time is, I think, about 5 hours ahead of us, which is Nigeria. Pacific Standard Time is 7 hours. Eastern Standard Time is 6 hours. So even though it is still in the US, each and every state has a time. Now, this is the US, Alaska time. It is 8 hours ahead. Pacific time, it is 7 hours ahead. Central time, it is 6 hours ahead. So you need to know where your client is staying. When you know the state, you also know the time zone they are working with, so that you're able to choose the time that is correct. Now I am going to be no, I'll be making use of Indiana time, Eastern time, Indiana time. 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Now, I will be using all of you. All of you, please, while you're listening to me, just kindly drop your email address. I'll be sending this to you as a guest so that you see what I am talking about. You see that even though the time zone is a foreign time zone, you're going to be receiving the email in your country's time zone. Since you're in Nigeria, you'll be receiving it with West African time, which is what time zone, and if you're in Ghana, you'll be receiving it with Ghanaian time zone. If you're in the Philippines, you receive it with Filipinos time zone. The time zone you're going to be receiving it would depend on where you are staying. But as the virtual assistant, you have to schedule the meeting in your client's time zone. Now, our location, since it's remote, I'm just going to put remotely. If it was if it was a physical your client is having a physical meeting, you include the location. If it's in the US, if it's in Nigeria, anywhere they are having the meeting, you include the location. Now for notification, you have an opportunity to click on to choose the notification. If you want it to be through email, 30 minutes before the meeting, they are going to be sending a notification to the partner. If you're the one, they'll be sending you a notification 30 minutes before the scheduled time. If it's through email, 30 minutes before your email, before the meeting, they'll be receiving an email, which is a notification to remind you that, okay, oh, we are having a meeting. This is just to remind you that you have a meeting, so and so.